Come on into the library. It's a place where I love to be. Look in a book, here's a story for you. Who makes stories when the day is through? Who makes stories when the day is through? Story makers, working through the night till the rising sun. Story makers, stories are fabulous, stories are fun. Milton Wordsworth,
Shelley and Jackson,
working through the night till the rising sun. Story makers, stories are fabulous, stories are fun. Come and be a story maker. Story makers. Story makers.
It's midnight. Hello.
Has everybody gone?
The sun is down, the stars are bright. Story makers come out at night. Milton Wordsworth, story maker and magical maestro, at your service.
Milton. The children in the library today were talking about their grandparents. They had some funny stories.
Are all grandparents old?
Older than you, but wiser too.
Not as old as you, surely, Milton.
Now, Jelly, don't be rude. I think it's time for a story. This should do. Now it's up to you. Join in and think of your grannies and your granddads. Imagine a story. Splendiferous. It's a playbook. And the story's called Grandma's Birthday. Today was Grandma's birthday, but it wasn't any ordinary birthday. Today, Grandma was 60 years old. Yakovus wanted to give Grandma a very special present. Yakovus thought about getting her a teddy bear, but Grandma was a bit too old for a teddy bear. He thought about getting her some slippers, but Grandma already had some slippers. Then Yakovus spotted some chocolate on the kitchen table and had a great idea. He decided to bake Grandma a delicious chocolate cake for her 60th birthday. Yakovus asked Mum to help, so Mum looked in her recipe book and then took all the ingredients out of the cupboard. Flour, sugar, butter, eggs, and most important, chocolate powder. They beat the butter and sugar together. They added the eggs one at a time. They sifted the flour and added the chocolate powder. Yakovus and Mum stirred everything together. Then they put the squelchy mixture into 2 cake tins and spread it out evenly. Mum put the cake in the oven to cook. When it was ready, Mum took the cake out of the oven. When the cake had cooled, they spread lots of strawberry jam over the bottom half. They took the top half and squashed it gently on top of the jam. Then they covered the cake with lots of sweety, sticky, buttery icing. Yakovus put colourful sweets on the side of the cake. Mum and Yakovus started putting candles on the cake. They needed 60 candles. Would they all fit on top of the cake? It was a bit of a squash, but they managed to fit them on. Mum started to light the 60 candles. But Grandma had smelt the chocolate and was already coming down the stairs. Mum had to be quick. Mum finished lighting the candles, 58, 59, 60, and just in time too. Grandma came into the kitchen and saw her cake. All 60 candles were burning brightly. Grandma loved her present, but needed a little help to blow out all the flames. 60 candles takes a lot of puff. Grandma gave Jacobus a big kiss to say thank you. Then it was time to tuck into the cake. Grandma said it was the best chocolate cake she had ever tasted. Happy 60th birthday, Grandma! Look what I found!
Teeth! Do they bite?
Some old people have to wear these. At night they take them out and put them into a jar of water.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Could we use them instead to make a story?
Ooh, well, I'm not touching them.
Come on, Jelly. You can help me put them into the story machine. Bye-bye, Jelly. Nice to meet you. Ready? Imagine a story.
It's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called A Gnashing Adventure.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, the seahorse baby was playing in the seaweed.
Rise and shine, barnacles under the sea. Wake up, come and play peekaboo.
Chuckled the barnacles.
Be careful, don't get lost in there, Little-ee.
Harry the seahorse looked rather flustered.
Don't worry, Dad. I'm fine. A monster!
She bolted out of the seaweed and jumped straight into Harry's pouch. Is everyone all right? Ellie the jellyfish floated by to find out what all the noise was about.
There's a monster in the seaweed with big teeth.
Trembled the seahorse baby. Oh, there's no such thing as monsters. I'm going to take a closer look.
Isn't she brave?
Chimed the barnacles. Ellie floated down into the seaweed. Suddenly, in front of her, she saw the toothy monster. Ah! She screamed and rushed out of the seaweed.
What's all the kerfuffle?
Said Gruff the pufferfish, who swam out from behind his slimy stone and headed straight into the seaweed to have a good look at the toothy monster. Suddenly, there was a real kerfuffle in the seaweed.
Ouch! Steer off!
Cried Gruff. He swam out with the toothy monster clenched firmly to his fin.
Help!
Cried Gruff.
It's got me!
With a loud guffaw, Papa Clam appeared from under the sand.
Steady, Gruff, steady.
He laughed.
It's only a set of false teeth.
False teeth? What are false teeth?
The people up top wear them when the real teeth get worn out.
Meanwhile, Gruff was thrashing about trying to get the teeth off his fin. Electra sparked by to see what was going on.
We just need to make the teeth open,
said Papa Clam. I know. I'll tell the teeth one of my shark jokes, Ellie beamed.
It's worth a try.
Said Harry. I say. What did the shark say to the pufferfish?
We don't know. What did the shark say to the pufferfish?
The sea creatures giggled. Pleased to eat you, Ellie chortled.
That was terrible.
Gruff grumbled. Nothing happened for a moment, but then the teeth started to chuckle, quietly at first, and then louder and louder, until they opened and let out a huge laugh, letting go of Gruff's fin. Hooray! Shouted the sea creatures.
Thanks, Ellie.
Said Gruff.
I need to put a plaster on my sore fin.
And he swam off to his slimy stone as fast as he could. Looks like he's got off by the skin of his teeth, laughed Ellie.
Oh, Milton, how do you know when you are getting old?
Well, let's see now, shall we? Well, we all do get old, but it happens gradually over lots and lots of years.
Oh.
No. Now, we'll look at the pictures and you tell me who the youngest is and who the oldest is, okay?
Yes. Well... One. That one is a young baby, so that must be the youngest.
Two.
that is a boy. So he's a bit older than the baby.
And 3.
Oh, that is a man with a beard. So he's a bit older.
And 4.
That is an old man with grey hair. So he is the oldest.
Well done, Jackson.
Oh, Milton, can we put the picture of the old man in the story machine?
Why, of course, my young whippersnapper. Come on.
I want a story about the oldest person in the whole world.
OK, well, if that's what you want, all you have to do is use a little imagination. And perhaps you'd like to join in too. Imagine a story.
Oh, it's a blue cow story.
Oh, look. Blue Cow and the oldest man in the world.
In a field not far away is a herd of cows grazing quietly. One of the cows is most unusual. Blue Cow wonders about the big world beyond her field. One day, Blue Cow was looking at a very old tree. I wonder what it is like to be really old. She's off again, said the other cows. So Blue Cow caught the bus that stops beside her field. I'd like a return ticket to a place where I can meet someone who's really old, please. There you go, madam. Hold very tight. And they set off for the seashore. And then they arrived. When Blue Cow got off the bus, she could hardly believe her eyes. By the seashore was a very, very old man. He had long silver hair and a matching silver beard and a kind, smiley face. He was painting an enormous picture. The picture was as long as the seashore and as tall as a tree. Hello, I'm Blue Cow. What are you painting? I'm painting a picture with all of my friends in it. It's taking me a very, very long time. It's very beautiful, said Blue Cow. Who's that? That's my friend Dino the dinosaur. This is Christopher Columbus, Shakespeare, all the kings and queens of England, Humpty Dumpty, Robin Hood. Blue Cow looked at all the faces of the old man's friends. There were hundreds and hundreds of them. You know a lot of people, said Blue Cow. That's because I'm the oldest man in the world. But call me Tony. How old are you, Tony? Asked Blue Cow. I'm as old as the trees, as old as the seas, as old as the breeze. I'm so old, I've got 7,000 telegrams from the different kings and queens. Look! And he held up a pile of telegrams. And in this space in the corner, I'm going to paint my new friend. Who's that? Asked Blue Cow. You! Laughed Tony. Stand over there while I paint you. Smile, please. Blue Cow stood and smiled while Tony painted her. Finished, he cried. Oh, that's lovely. Can I come and see you again? Certainly. You'll always find me here.
It's getting late.
Indeed it is. The dawn is upon us. The morning is nigh. We've made our stories, and we bid you goodbye.
Story makers, working through the night till the rising sun. Story makers, stories are fabulous. Stories are fun.
Bye, story makers.
See you again soon.